All right, welcome in. It is a Tuesday. Happy
Corey's
Tuesday.
singing a song about short shorts. I don't know.
Yeah, you never heard.
Like I'm John Stockton or something.
Yeah, you are. You're wearing bird dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I could wear these to any Catholic school in the world. That's how long they are.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
All right. They passed the fingertip test. That's great.
Yes.
Well, welcome to SEC After Dark. Happy Tuesday. I know this is not our regular night, but I'm graduating from high school tomorrow, so that's going to be
Congratulations.
All
right. The Van Wilder plan.
Yeah. So finally, after 22 years, I'm going to be valedictorian.
Yeah, you beat Stetson Bennett.
Yeah,
that's good.
It is.
So
Stetson Bennett goes to college for 37 years and has an associate's degree.
Oh, that's so good.
He goes enough lifetimes to get 12 doctorates, and
and what does that say about JCJC? I mean, what do you do in Jones County Junior College? You're the only person that's given out a degree, but it's like his high school diploma and like a refrigerator repairman certificate he got from your co-op.
Yeah. Hey, but he can fix the refrigerator, though.
Oh, he can fix the hell out of it. He's going to get it running better than the day you bought it.
It doesn't matter. He won 2 national championships. Stetson Bennett Chevrolet is going to do perfectly fine in Athens after this is all done.
That's right.
Yep.
Chevrolet. He's not going Chevrolet. He's definitely a
Tesla.
Yeah, he's going Tesla.
Gross.
It's just something that Stetson Bennett would do. Go Tesla.
It's forward first on race day.
First on race day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Stetson Bennett, GMC, Toyota, and Buick.
What?
That's something like that would happen.
I'm not even a car person and know they don't go together.
No.
That's something that would happen in South Georgia.
I think Stetson Bennett is the only person in Georgia. He could open up a Stetson Bennett Oldsmobile, and he's going to be fine.
He sell a crap ton of them.
I saw you to his peers.
Step into this 1977 Delta 88. Look at that. $47,000.
Made the same year I started college.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's right, Jeff. Yeah. I was a freshman in college when this bad boy came out.
I'm serious. This whole Stetson Bennett thing is like the worst thing ever for Jones County Junior College.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so like how did you not graduate?
Yeah,
7 years.
Worst thing, and no, you just won a national title. All you have to do is just show up, and it's like, and just walk out the door, and that's what you're going to get. At least take the courses to get the degree.
Yeah, I would say like he probably skipped out his last semester to do like draft prep.
His last semester.
His ass had
he missed out his 8th year. You gotta look out. He messed up his 8th year.
Yeah. He's getting ready to graduate after 8 years with a bachelor's degree, and he just skipped out.
One of the funniest stats that I heard was Stetson Bennett was older than I think both of the quarterbacks in the Super Bowl.
That is wow.
Yeah, that might be true.
Him and Lamar Jackson are the same age, and Lamar Jackson's been in the league for 4 years.
Yeah.
They're the same age. It's nuts, man.
It's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts.
But he is throwing dimes at Rams training camp or at Rams OTAs or whatever you're calling it.
Yeah, if he's throwing dimes, he's never going to be able to buy property out there.
Well, and speaking of OTAs, Aaron Rodgers got to his new team and hurt his strained his calf already. So,
is he hurt already? Of
course.
He's old enough to be Stetson Bennett's dad, so he probably strained his cow.
Yeah.
I should have traded him.
This is the most that Aaron Rodgers has ever thrown in the last 15 years.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah.
So he's not used to it.
Right. Oh, man.
Plus, it's Aaron Rodgers. He probably woke up this morning he probably woke up with one of those 40-year-old injuries where you just step out of bed wrong and your calf gets hurt. Mm-hmm. And he's like, Yeah, I got an old man injury.
I've hurt myself
Exactly.
hurt myself twice this year asleep. I have no idea what happened. Just woke up injured.
Yeah.
Cassidy, this is breaking news. Who just got in trouble?
As a wide receiver, got caught for reckless driving.
Uh-oh.
That's probably a trigger issue in Georgia right now.
Yeah, I'd say.
I don't recognize the names. I don't know. I mean, he could have been a great player this coming year, but I didn't recognize the guy's name. So,
Well, of course, I go to look it up, and the website's just going to keep spinning.
hang on, let me see if I got it.
Roddy, tell me the Georgia player.
Marcus Rosemary Jack Saint.
Yeah, he was going to be the starting X receiver.
Yeah.
Oh,
He got reckless driving and speeding is what he got arrested.
was he on? At least say he was on a scooter.
Yeah, could be.
So I'm in the thread
Jack
here on.
Saint.
So to give UGA Sports a little cred here, I went into the thread here. Anthony Dasher he posted the article. The second post is the former Spanish national team coach. I forget his name, but he's doing the big oof. You know the
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, I know who you're
What's
talking
his name?
about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I can't think of his name though.
Was it Del Bosque?
Might have been.
I know who you're talking about though. I can picture him right now.
Yeah, mustache, old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marcus Rosemary Jack Saint.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So he'll be the wide receiver of Georgia State this year. Oh,
And
Yep.
yeah. And by the way, while we are recording this, out of this panel, there's only 2 of us left in the SEC tournament in baseball. So,
jokes on y'all. I didn't even go.
well, okay.
I was-
So
I
just
think-
one left. Just one left.
I was going to say, I think Georgia and Tennessee both got knocked out. Ole Miss
Yeah.
didn't make it. So, yeah,
That's
just
right.
Jokes on y'all. Georgia sucks at baseball this year. Georgia can't pitch. They have no pitching,
yeah.
none whatsoever. But this was Scott Strickland's last game, likely. He's probably
All right.
he's probably
what I
going to be
heard.
coaching elsewhere next year. So
But look at the bright side. Look at the bright side, Jake. You get to look forward to 6 rain delays, 2 first
Oh my
pitches
God.
after 10:30,
Yeah.
and all of that happened, and we get to sleep in and just ignore it at this point.
yeah, like I don't have to watch baseball anymore. But guess what? I'm going to have Jenna Becerra. I think that's how you say her name.
Mm-hmm.
Becerra, from Bleav In Softball on my show this week.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, talk about Georgia softball there. So
Now
that's
they're really good.
yeah.
I think they got Florida State.
They didn't win the
Yeah.
SEC, but that was Tennessee.
Yeah.
But whatever. They're good. They're good. They're good.
But they got Florida State next, right, Corey?
It's not
Yeah.
softball, but I interviewed Coach O today. That's going to be on the show tomorrow.
Oh, look
Coach
at you.
Yo.
Yeah.
And Lane Kiffin done retweeted your show. So
Yeah, shared it out. Yeah.
yeah. Moving on. Like
Congratulations, Steve.
like the Jeffersons over there.
Yeah, and after all of that, I'm still more excited about getting 2 free pair of bird dogs.
I wonder how long
Steve-
it'd be.
Yeah.
I wonder how
Steve
long
just
it'd
wanted-
be. Go ahead, Corey.
I was just going to make a Steve wanted to expose his thighs joke, but go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, I wonder how long it'd be till he calls you for an advisory role on the football team, Stephen.
Oh, I think that's already happening. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
His people can call my people. We can figure out what's going on. I can tell him about the middle of the field. We're good to go.
Yeah. So if you leave for advisory, then I guess it'd just be a 3-panel. Then Corey have to run the show. What?
I
the-
guess I have to run the
Fun-
show.
Fun
I might have
fact. My graduate level football that I sat through, it was one of the most amazing things. I sat through 2 seminars over multiple days at Ole Miss, and defensively it was Monty Kiffin. And hearing Monty Kiffin talk about defense, oh my goodness, it would completely blow your mind. The other one was Alex Gibbs. I learned all about the zone running scheme from Alex Gibbs for a few days.
Yeah, that he's the guru. That guy's ridiculous, man. Like when he talks about such a simple blocking scheme, but you have a million different possibilities. But all it takes, it's very teachable because all it takes is 6-inch step, a gain step, block what's in front of you, communicate with your neighbor.
Yeah, and the defensive lineman will completely run themselves out of the play. You just have to have faith that what you're doing.
Yeah.
You have to stay gap present. If you where the blown assignments are is the center not trusting that the A gap is going to be covered or that his backside is going to be covered. So he peels off and then creates a big gap and play gets blown up. Or
I've routinely seen inside zone be run, and you run inside zone right, but it's actually happening in between the left guard and the left tackle.
Yeah, because usually the A gaps are everybody's flowing with the offensive line, so it's a natural like cutback lane, and so really what it is, it's like the front side floating B gap. So the front side B gap, I'm getting real technical here with you guys. The front side B gap actually floats down to the backside A gap, and everything just moves that way. And so you end up hitting the backside A gap where, I mean, you don't really have to break much plane to hit that landmark.
What are you doing with your hands, Jeff?
Trying to visualize it, sort of.
It's like you're cupping a okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Chauncey dropped a "Still the Reigning Champs," and yes, we are. There was
Got
a
a couple
message
weeks
on the SEC network and all.
Because they hadn't fired up the lights in Omaha yet. That's the only reason why.
Okay, so
Right.
Ole Miss was the last champs, right?
Yeah.
Who was the champs year before that?
Mississippi State.
Mistake.
Who were the two teams that missed the SEC tournament this year?
Mississippi State and Ole Miss.
Mississippi
How does that happen?
Because it's not a surprise that Ole Miss and State won it after they were able to bank COVID scholarships and bank players.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's Mississippi State. They just came back to the mean there.
Yeah, it's just where they belong.
They just regressed back to the mean.
They have a nicer stadium than the Oakland A's. I mean, what the Oakland A's will have. Duty Noble Field is just fantastic.
I mean,
Really?
everyone in the country has a nicer stadium than the Oakland Athletics.
I know.
Yeah.
But when they become the Las Vegas Athletics now, that's a different story. It's going to be Death Star version 2.
Yeah.
You think
I
they
saw
changed the
something-
colors again?
No, they
Because they were originally, whenever they were the Philadelphia A's and the Kansas City A's, they were like blue and yellow. And then when they moved to Oakland, they were to green and yellow.
they'll probably stay with green. Unless
I
they
could-
change names altogether.
They're not going to
Remember
change
them
names.
before green.
They'll stay with the same colors. I mean, the Raiders didn't change colors.
Yeah.
That's not black and silver though. You don't change that.
Right.
Yeah, no.
I
you don't.
saw something today about Tampa Bay. They're like there's potentially they may be selling the team and they could be moving. I saw that today. Is that true?
The Rays or the Bucks?
The Rays.
Potentially, but everybody seems to think that the deal is going to get done. It's going to be an 11th hour type deal, and there's going to be I think it's right by the Trop is where they're going to build it.
Okay.
Now Miami might leave, but
Yeah.
The Marlins?
yeah.
Oh, you mean Derek Jeter's failing as an owner?
Did he sell the team? Or
He's the Michael Jordan of baseball when it comes to ownership.
No,
Yeah.
no, don't remind me.
Oh yeah, you're a Hornets fan.
Yeah.
I
But
keep forgetting this is the most random fact of all time.
Yeah. We got the number 2 pick, so we're going to miss out on Wembley, of course, but we're probably going to either get Scoot Henderson or Brandon Miller. So I think we'll be all right with either one of those.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like soccer.
No, well, yeah,
Not going to Wembley.
yeah.
As
No,
a Wembley.
there's the France dude. I don't know his whole name. Everybody just calls him Wimby.
Wimby.
Yeah.
Wimpy. Chauncey, that's the Glazier family.
Yeah, they own
They
the
own the-
Bucks.
That was brand new.
They own the Bucks. Do they own the Rays too?
No, they do not own the Rays.
Oh.
The guy that owns the Rays is actually incredibly smart, and I doubt he's selling that at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, do you think that if you play your cards right and you get enough bird dog ads, you could probably buy the Marlins and keep them and move them to Orlando?
Seriously.
right.
I don't. I just would just take a private jet to go up and see the Tigers play.
There you go.
There you go.
Steve, you start showing some.
Seeing
start showing
Riley
some
Green
man pie.
raking.
I mean, Steven's probably already on like 25% of the Tigers right now anyway. So
I bought 2 more hats and a shirt today.
He owns the Fanatics, so he owns the fan shop. That's for sure.
Lifelong fan for 3 months now.
But have you matched your hat? Have you gotten bird dog shorts to match your hat?
No, not yet. I do have a mango colored Detroit hat coming that is like a pastel orange to go with navy blue. Yeah, I'm calling it my birthday hat for when we go to Hollywood Studios. So we'll see exactly, making sure Jeb's not frozen.
No.
Okay, there he is.
Jeb, let it go.
The internet Chauncey is really bad.
Yeah,
I got kicked out of 2 calls.
I told Rutherford County Detention Center to upgrade your internet. They just wouldn't listen.
Well, you get out this week though, so you'll be back.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Next show, I'll be back at home.
There you go.
Where
Steve, Chauncey wants you to show more man thigh on your morning walks too.
No, I can't. I don't have long enough arms.
You got to invest in a selfie stick there.
And man thigh isn't a thing with these shorts.
Stand up, Steve. Let's see. Let's see.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Look at those things.
Nice.
He's got legs. He knows how to use.
What's the problem?
The Joe Namath of the Locked On Network.
All right. By the way, Alabama just won, but the significance here is, of course, they move on. But Alabama just played their 100th SEC tournament game, and they've never had a shutout. They won tonight 4-0. So
what?
Wow.
Who was the nothing?
Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good job, Kentucky. Who'd South Carolina play after they dismantled Georgia 9-0?
I forgot who they got next.
LSU, maybe?
It might be LSU. Because Alabama's got Florida.
If they've got LSU, they're going to get Paul Skeens and have fun.
Yeah. Well, it's a double elimination now, so they got to win 2 out of 3 against LSU.
Yeah, but if you end up in that losers bracket,
oof. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. It's LSU.
Don't let the elephants get hot, Chauncey.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Don't let the fans get hot. So Marcus Rosemy-Jackson ain't getting arrested. That opens the door for Ra Thomas.
Rah-rah.
Ra Beast.
That's right. Y'all got a couple of those transfers over.
Yeah, our Dominic Loveland's been killing it, dude.
I heard that he's like a stud.
That dude's a stud, man. Yeah. Like, he had a great spring game. He's been – I mean, he picked up things pretty quickly.
You know, real quick since we've been off the rails for first 20 minutes of the show, I do want to let everybody know about DeadSoxy, and Father's Day is coming up. Go to DeadSoxy.com, look at it, and they've got Alabama socks. They got Georgia socks. I think they've got Tennessee socks, but they have Ole Miss NIL socks. And you can go there and check that and have them delivered in time for Father's Day. So get your socks. That could do us all a big favor as well. Jason Simmons does a great job and helps me out here and on the Locked On show as well. And I think he's going to eventually advertise with Bleav In Georgia Dawgs and the Tide Talk Live show and the Jeb Just a Guy show.
Nice.
Did we change that name to just a guy, or you got lost in the plot?
I like you lost the plot. Yeah, or if you lost the plot.
That is a good name. I can't.
I cannot wait to watch those and then go back and watch the movies after I hear Jeb's story on them.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be probably one of the best things on this channel. I mean, honestly, it's going to be 10 to 15 minutes of just pure gold. I can't wait for it.
Yeah,
Thanks. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't pick which movies I want to do, but I'm working on it.
I mean, you got a whole decade's worth of bangers.
So many movies.
Start with Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Just come hot right out of the gates.
No, not watching that one.
They're going to be part of my horror series. Don't worry.
Or Back to School.
Any of the Rodney Dangerfield or the old John Candy movies, all of them probably will definitely be in there as well. Summer Vacation.
Porky, Stripes.
Was
a great movie.
Animal House.
Was Basic Instinct in the 80s?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't
God.
one of my favorites, but I could definitely do.
You're going to make me cuss, Jake.
Hey, I couldn't remember. I did see that movie though. For one
was
reason.
that the late 20th century? I don't remember.
I got an update on Bird Notice.
Did you watch it?
I still haven't watched it.
Oh, gummit.
I've been watching Jake Ryan,
Which is a great
Jack
show.
Ryan.
Jack Ryan. Yeah.
Jack Ryan. It's the spinoff starring Jake.
Let that go.
No.
Hey,
His
I've
little brother.
already got our XD tickets for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on opening night at 7:00.
Yes.
When does it come out?
June 30th.
Yeah.
June 30th. Nice.
Attaboy.
There's some good movies coming out in the month of June.
Yeah, I can't wait for that or The Flash. I'm in.
Yep.
And
I'm all in
Disney.
The Flash.
They're doing a Florida resident thing for Disney, which means during the summer you can buy a 4-pack and just go 4 times during the summer. My friends are screwed.
They've been avoiding buying season tickets, though.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I got a deal for you. Don't worry. They can't get out of this one.
So
All
is Disney going to sponsor our show now? Because like Steve goes there so much.
They
That's a
should.
good point. It
They
should.
Yeah, they should.
They really should. Disney, if you're listening.
Yeah.
do it.
I'm going to do videos probably for the SEC After Dark page on there from my day of fun on June 4th, which is coincidentally my birthday.
There you go.
Hey Steve, guess where I'm going to be coaching football next year?
Where?
Hogwarts. I mean Innsworth.
Really?
Yeah.
It's worth
Yeah.
OC?
When
No,
are you going to
not
move in Innsworth?
I'm just coaching there. I'm going to stay at the same place. I'm going to teach at the same place I'm teaching, and I'm going to coach at Innsworth.
Okay. Well, that's
So
probably
after school, I'm going to drive the 8 minutes to Innsworth.
What are you coaching?
Tight ends, H-backs,
Nice.
Yeah.
nice.
co-offense coordinator, I guess. So, yeah.
Who's the head coach at Innsworth?
His name is Rock Batten. He was probably at BGA when you were covering football
Okay.
for WSMV.
Rock Bat. What a name.
Rock Batten, yeah. I think he played at Vanderbilt. Linebacker, I think.
Sounds
at
about
Vanderbilt.
right. You know,
Where?
go ahead.
He had an injury on his left arm where I think it was either in his elbow or his shoulder. I think it was his elbow. He had some significant nerve damage, so he can't use his left arm. It just kind of hangs in a brace. But it's not like Inky Johnson's where it's like completely dead. He just can't do anything with his left arm. It's pretty crazy.
Speaking of like awesome names, did you see the guy's name who just committed to Kentucky a few days ago? The quarterback. His name is Cutter Boley.
Cutter Boley.
Now
Cutter
they did have
Boley.
at one time they did have a Cavassier smoke.
Well, I know, but
They know a thing or two about names.
They do.
Why does that sound weirdly familiar? Cutter Boley.
Bowl cutter.
I don't know. Something about that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Bowl cut.
I don't know.
We had
I'll think of it later.
we had a kid on a rival team when I was in high school. They played basketball. He had a bowl cut and wore goggles, so we taunted him unmercifully and called him bowl cut and goggles.
Nice.
We just chanted that the
terrible.
entire time. It was awful, but we did.
All right, just to keep this being SEC After Dark and actually SEC After Dark, here we go. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, what do we think?
Vanderbilt is obviously tier 1.
Right. Yeah. That's a mislabel there.
Also, this is from Saturday Down South. Don't want anybody to think we're trying to jack it.
So
Is this, just
Mississippi
this
State and
upcoming year,
Auburn need
or-
to change places.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yes.
it looks to me like it goes like one like left to right, like you're reading. So it'd be Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Tennessee, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Arkansas, like that. Mm-hmm. And if you do that, Mississippi State needs to be about where Missouri is.
Right.
I think Auburn needs to bump up to Mississippi State. I think Florida needs to move over to where Missouri is, and Mississippi State needs to bump down to where Florida is currently.
Yeah. I think
And
Vandy has. I still think they have a chance to make a bowl game this year.
Vandy has more upside than Mississippi State, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that defense for Mississippi State has to be special.
And that schedule of Mississippi State.
That schedule is brutal.
Ooh. And Vandy's schedule is pretty easy.
Steve, how do you feel about South Carolina being ahead of Ole Miss right now?
I think it's fool's gold because of what Spencer Rattler did against Tennessee and Clemson.
Yeah.
2 games. So everybody's looking at that, but is he going to be able to reciprocate it again? Is Marshawn Lloyd walking through that door for them playing running back? I mean, South Carolina is a team that could very easily be a flash in the pan, and I think Texas A&M could honestly jump up to Tier 2.
They have the chance to, but until I see it, I just don't believe it.
Yeah, so they have the talent, but
until I see it, I mean, they've had the talent for the last 3 years, and they've squandered it every single year under Jimbo.
Yeah.
Like they should have been in heavy contention for the West, if not winning the West.
But what did he do at Florida State? Besides that 1 year.
That 1 year where he had generational talent at every position.
And still come down to I think a late touchdown.
Almost lost. It's still almost lost to one of the flukiest Auburn teams I've ever seen.
Right.
And so Jimbo can, if Jimbo just doesn't say a word and just stands there, they might have a chance.
Yeah, here's the thing that I'm curious about. Bobby Petrino actively tried to shoot Tommy Tuberville. You know, the Jetgate was for Bobby Petrino. Mm-hmm. Bobby Petrino left the Atlanta Falcons in the middle of the season, just like with a Dear John note.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the stools without saying anything.
Is Bobby Petrino playing a game to try and oust Jimbo and get the Texas A&M job?
That's a very good point.
I mean, it is, and I feel, and God, only A&M would get themselves in this mess.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that, but that's actually a pretty good point.
That's I mean,
no one Petrino.
It's plausible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's plausible that.
Yeah, probably the best situation in which he left a place in Bobby Petrino's career was probably Arkansas.
And that's when he got fired for
that's the motorcycle.
He didn't plan on leaving.
He had the motorcycle incident.
he couldn't keep control of his motorcycle while he. Okay, I'm not gonna say anymore.
Well, would you be able to, Corey?
No. No, but I wouldn't be driving a motorcycle in that scenario.
Hey, I'm about to break some news on here. If Chauncey's still watching, Damon Williams was invited to the Elite 11 finals.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yay.
Something in which Arch Manning doesn't know anything about.
Yeah.
Ned Schnebley. Schnebley.
I think he's first timer.
I think Arkansas and Kentucky, you could probably flip a coin. I think they're pretty much the same. Although Devin Leary is going to be something special this year.
Yeah,
I'm really a big fan of Devin Leary. I'm a big fan of KJ Jefferson too. Don't get me wrong. Both of those quarterbacks really intrigue me.
The one thing that people that are Arkansas fans need to keep in mind, and the offense is going to be different. Kendall Briles isn't there anymore. He's at TCU now. Now Dan Enos, who was Burt's offensive coordinator in 2015, is calling the shots there.
Oh.
So that is probably going to change things just a little bit.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not going to be good.
I don't like that one bit.
I'm saying it's going to be different. And it might not be good enough to jump over Kentucky. Because I do think Devin Leary is going to be fine. And what's his face? The offensive coordinator has come back.
Liam Cohen.
Yeah,
I thought Liam Cohen was good for Kentucky. I thought he called really good games. I thought he's the only person in this world that put Will Levis in positive situations.
Right.
Where even Will Levis couldn't screw it up.
But he somehow did.
But I mean,
not that year. That was Will Levis. No,
the bottom of this league is pretty putrid, honestly.
Yeah, Florida's in rough shape. Missouri is just they should have just went ahead and lost and got rid of Drinkwitz because I don't think he's a long-term answer. I really don't.
I'm going to say on that list there next year when they redo this, if they do, you'll probably see potentially Vandy move up to the top of the tier 4, maybe even the bottom of the tier 3 if they get a 6-win season.
Wow.
Potentially.
Eventually, you could see that. Clark Lee and finally for the first time and probably the only time he's featured on our title graphic presented by DeadSoxy. He should have been wearing some socks from DeadSoxy because those things are awesome.
Yeah.
But he's building that thing the right way, and Vandy's showing a lot of patience, which I don't know why they wouldn't because they don't really. But you can see how hard they play. You can see how competitive they are, but you can also see that they just don't have the talent yet, and that's what's killing them. And I think they're going to be in a lot of games that they shouldn't be, and they might lose a lot of those games this year that they're in where they shouldn't be. But you're going to see in the next couple of years, they're going to start one by one winning those games. Like this year, Florida was that game that they should have never even been close in. They were close, and they actually dominated the game. So,
yeah,
you're going to see them play Tennessee really tough in the coming years. But Tennessee is also going this way, going on an upward trajectory. So, Tennessee is going to. They're not going to really close that gap. That game's just going to be a lot more competitive and more compelling because Vandy's going to be better and Tennessee's going to be what they are. I think they're going to sneak up on possibly Kentucky again. But the thing Vandy's got to do is now they've got to understand that they can't really sneak up on anybody anymore. So they're going to have to raise their level of play, which I think they will. I'm a big believer in AJ Swan, but I'm excited to see what Vandy can bring to the table because if Vandy's good, that means league wide, the league is going to be pretty good.
Steve's made this point before, and he's right with Clark Lee and how well he's building that team. I wonder what their strategy is for the transfer portal because I can see a lot of players, like Steve was saying, a lot of players wanting a Vanderbilt degree. You think you'd be able to bring in some pretty decent transfer players? Maybe not top tier because they're going to be
easy.
No,
wouldn't it?
A lot of players want to go somewhere where they're going to win a championship, but
you maybe get like some of the best players out of like some of the G5 schools to come to Vandy.
Why not?
That may not have a future in football, but they got that degree. They can be anything they want to be.
Plus, if you're coming out like the G5, you're going to the SEC. You're going to be on TV. Right. Why would you not? I don't know. I'm surprised they're not more aggressive in it. There may be reasons I don't know. I'm just curious what it is.
There's probably they don't have enough NIL probably right now. They just haven't gotten that together. Their admissions is probably not helping them.
I wonder how difficult it is, to get transfer players in.
Yeah. Their admissions probably just isn't doing them any favors.
By the way, Ned is an Ole Miss student, so good to have you,
nice.
Ned.
Ned, what are we majoring in, Ned?
Yeah.
KJ, yeah.
KJ probably, my guess is girls and beer.
And
Arkansas still has.
That's what I majored in.
A++.
When I was
majoring in the Grove.
Whenever I was on the Stetson Bennett plan.
Nunya. There you go, Corey.
Hell yeah!
I did.
All right, Ned.
I like his attitude already.
Yeah.
Now Arkansas still has that running back too, don't they? I'm blanking on his name now, but
Rocket Sanders. Yeah.
Yeah, really good running back too. I don't blame you for being worried about him. They could be really good, but
IMC in the Grove. Yeah.
Smart.
What's IMC? Steve?
I'm not graduating tomorrow like you are, Corey. I don't know these acronyms.
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah, I don't know that one either. Yeah, I know.
The first time I went to Ole Miss, there was no internet. Seriously.
Wow.
Were there automobiles?
Yeah.
Integrated mark. See, that's some big brain stuff, man.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we need to be on Ned's good side, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely.
marketing communication. All right.
But you
It
know
seems
what?
like that's a whole lot above my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that chart, I'm going to bring it up one more time just so everybody can see what I'm talking about again. But there is one thing that I want to say about this. I think this should be 5 tiers. And I think tier 1 should be Georgia by themselves. And then Alabama and
Attaboy, Steve.
LSU in the second tier. Because until you beat Georgia, it's kind of like Alabama was. Until you knock them off, there's not a lot you can do.
So we kicked around in our group chat, Jeb, storylines. So think of those, Jeb. Make your point.
No, I was just asking with the graphic, is that tiers that they're seeing for this upcoming season? Or just, I guess, where the team is at this current moment?
I'm looking at it as going into the 2023 season.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Because if you're talking about programs, you wouldn't put like Texas A&M in tier 3 or whatever it was, tier 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Below. Yeah.
That's where I was confused. Okay, I got you.
All right, storylines, boys. Storylines. Let's start. Steve, put that graphic up one more time. Give me a visual reference here. All right, storylines. Okay, let's use this as our reference. All right, storylines. Let's start with, obviously the storyline for Georgia's three-peat. Yeah, we could talk ad nauseum. If you want to hear ad nauseum about why Georgia's going to three-peat, why I think they're going to three-peat, just listen to Bleav in Georgia Dawgs on the Bleav Network. So check that out. So let's go with Alabama. All right, storylines for Alabama, because this is where it gets this is where the twists and turns kind of start to happen here.
It's return to old man football.
And quarterback situation. That's the biggest one going into fall camp, through the summer and fall camp. Who's going to be the quarterback, and who's going to step up at wide receiver? I mean, there's a lot of talent there, a lot of talented players, but there's nobody that you can depend on, to make a big third down play. Hopefully Ja'Corey Brooks will be that guy this year, but he's got to make that next step.
You don't have that dynamic guy that just you're just going to say, all right, Ja'Corey, go take the
low key. I'm
off.
expecting a tight end for Alabama to emerge on the scene.
Yeah.
Does Latu have a brother?
No, he does. He's at Maryland, but he's a quarterback.
Can LSU repeat as Western champs? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because they're the same team, and they won it last year. They can do it again. The question I have is, can LSU win the national championship? Can they take that next step? And I don't know if they can. I don't know if Jalen Daniels, or Jaden Daniels, not Jalen Daniels. Yeah. I don't know if
kind of like my Jake Ryan.
Last year was a flash in the pan. I don't know if that wasn't the case. And that the early part of last season with Jaden Daniels was actually the real one. And he just got hot at the end of the year. Maybe it was a Jevin Sneed type situation. So I think the story for LSU is to try and win a national championship. I don't know if they can.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Western Division title is well within reach, but again, we got to figure out if Jaden Daniels is streaky. I think you hit the nail on the head right there. We got to figure out if he's streaky. We got to figure out if Neighbors can step up and be that wide receiver one without Kayshon Boutte. We've got to see how this team progresses under year 2 in the family. So we're good there. So Jeb, Tennessee, can Joe Milton do it?
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest question mark is quarterback, because you want to know if Joe Milton, who's now a 6-year senior, if he can finally step up and live up to some of that talent. His arm kind of flashes at you. It'd be great if he could, but Nico's waiting in the wings, and he looks great. I can't wait for him to take over. So I think that's the biggest question. I'm really curious, too, if the defense actually improves more this year, because they've got more depth now that they're still – it's still not top tier, but I just want to see that they are gelling and playing better and improving. I'm getting a little worried this defensive coordinator, he does an okay job, but I need to see improvement. And so that's the two things I'm looking for this year.
And
I saw that. I read something today about Nico, and they say he is looks like the next deal.
He's going to be the real deal. Yeah. I want to see if Tennessee has depth on defense, because their defense is going to be tested a lot this year, because you don't have Hendon Hooker that can extend drives the way he did. Hendon Hooker played Josh Heupel's system perfectly, where he would make enough plays to give that defense rest to be fresh, so that they could, create some gaps between their opponents. I don't know if Joe Milton can do that. If Joe Milton can do that, then Tennessee might be right back in the same position they were in last year with a chance to beat Georgia. But I think if he can't do that, if they increase their amounts of 3 and outs, that defense, especially that defensive front, the depth is going to be tested. They lost some guys to the NFL. How do they backfill that? I want to know.
Tennessee and Georgia. If Tennessee can get to the Georgia game after beating Alabama, Neyland Stadium is going to be a freaking zoo, like Ole Miss level zoo that night. Golf ball, mustard, craziness.
Right.
I think that is a storyline worth keeping an eye on, because in their head they've marked it since they beat Alabama, and this isn't a shot at Alabama or anything like that. Georgia is now that team on Tennessee's schedule that's getting the circle.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
and rightfully so.
Yeah. I want to go back real quick because we've already done 4 teams and we can do it. But when we're doing these little storylines, let's do a floor and ceiling for these teams as well. Georgia, of course, is a national championship, 14-0. What would be the floor if they had an absolute terrible season?
Absolute terrible season. I would say 11-1, 10-2. Like sound the alarms.
Yeah.
But 11, I think a loss on that schedule. And speaking of which, I texted Israel about Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint, and he said, "Dude, everyone needs to drive a Prius." Toyota, if you're listening, Prius, the official car of Georgia football. So Alabama, floor, ceiling. What's the ceiling? What's the floor?
Of course, ceiling undefeated, and I would say 9-3, 8-4 would be the floor.
I would say 8-4. I'd go that way too.
Yeah.
8 and floor.
You can see yourself out, Corey.
We got so many jokes.
All right, see you guys. I gotta go try on my graduation robe. All right, LSU ceiling floor. I think ceiling is 11-1. Spot in the playoff after SEC championship.
Yeah.
Floor 8-4, 9-3.
Yeah.
So it's feast or famine with them almost. Tennessee ceiling.
I was going to go kind of the same way.
11-1, winning the division, playing for the SEC championship against LSU. Floor 10-2, with a loss to Bama, loss to Georgia. I think they can beat just about everybody else on their schedule.
Here's the downside. They do have a tendency for one of those shit the bed games.
Like
South Carolina last year. So I would probably say that 9-3 or 8-4 is actually the floor for Tennessee. It's probably going to be 10-2. But
I think the South Carolina game was a result of the Georgia game. They were just already deflated, and South Carolina just pounced on them at home.
Possibly, but I mean, you're going
to
like
it this year after that.
Somebody with a straight face going to just guarantee that Tennessee's going to win at Florida? Just guarantee that?
And we do go to Kentucky right after that Alabama game.
It doesn't matter. I saw Felipe Franks throw 2 Hail Marys against them.
Have you seen Florida lately? Felipe Franks ain't walking through that door, Steve. Florida's pretty bad right now.
Yeah.
I think that early in the season, they'll be okay with Florida. But
I mean, it is the SEC, and I've seen some crazy stuff. So I'm not going to say it's 100%, but it's pretty close to 100%.
Yep.
But like I said, they do go to Kentucky right after the week they're at Alabama. I could see that if they have a kind of game where like they had with Alabama going down to the wire.
Who do they have after Georgia?
No, Vanderbilt. Not worried about that.
Doors.
Vanderbilt in Neyland will be fine.
Anchor down.
Yeah.
Anchor down.
Seth Rogen is coming for you. I mean, Clark Lee is coming for you.
Yeah.
Pineapple Express.
Yeah. So South Carolina, I would say is still in probably 9-3 for them.
Let's see.
Yeah, 9-3.
Well, they're losing to Georgia. They're losing to Clemson, probably.
Right. Yeah.
Whoa. I don't know.
I think Clemson's going to get them this year. I think last year was a little bit fluky.
Clemson's hustled backwards.
Yeah,
not to go ACC after dark.
I do like Cade Klubnik. I just do.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a good player. I don't think he's going to be Trevor Lawrence, but I think he's going to be a good player. He's not going to be DJ Ukulele.
Right.
No, he definitely won't be that. But they lost their edge. Their edge moved to Norman.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So we'll see.
Florida would probably be 7-5.
I think South Carolina the 4-6-6. Yeah.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
Barely making a bowl. I think
It all
South
depends on
Carolina's one of those
Spencer
teams.
Rattler. It all depends on Spencer Rattler.
Things start to unravel for him. It can get pretty ugly in bunches for him. He's not one of those that something bad happens, he bounces right back. It usually takes him. I mean, it's a string of things.
And I would say their storyline would be Spencer Rattler. Where can he do what, improve on what he did last season?
To reach their ceiling, he's going to be a Heisman candidate.
Right.
Yeah.
Ole Miss. Steve.
Ole Miss's ceiling's probably 10 wins. That would be them getting LSU or Alabama. They're not getting Georgia and Athens, I don't think. I don't think they're there yet. But they can probably win one of those two games, and then you just run the table, and the rest of them, that's your ceiling. The floor is probably 6-6, honestly. There's a situation where if Jackson Dart doesn't progress and they're kind of stuck in the rut a little bit and everybody can kind of gang up on Quinshon Judkins, you can see where that defense is a little bit stressed. And, I don't see them losing to Vandy. I don't see them losing any non-conference game. Mississippi State, they're probably going to win, but I could see it going horribly wrong, them going over to the Plains. It's a 7:00 at night kickoff. The Jungle's going absolutely insane for a 5-win Auburn team. And, trying to figure out, remember those glory days of being a Birmingham Bowl runner-up. And all of a sudden it just goes crazy on them. So, I mean, that could very well happen.
Yeah.
Freezus summons the heavens above.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe he's got Gus Malzahn's horseshoe.
Wedged in it. Okay, never mind. Tier 3, Kentucky storylines. Devin Leary. I mean, obviously, can he continue? Well, I should say, I use this very carefully. Can he continue on the momentum that Will Levis started? Which, I mean, last year didn't seem like Will Levis had much momentum, but I mean, Kentucky got vaulted into Tier 3 because of Will Levis. Let's not forget that.
Tennessee Titans quarterback Will Levis. I'd appreciate you saying over and over and over again.
No, please
don't.
Tennessee Titans second round pick, for whom they traded up for.
Oh my God. I'm going to see myself out now.
Go Red Stallions! Roar! So yeah. Devin Leary, I think, is going to take anything that Will Levis did and just completely leave it in the dust, man. I think Liam Cohen coming back is huge for them. Liam Cohen proved to the world that he is not an NFL coordinator, which it's not a bad. That's not a bad thing.
It's not an indictment.
It's not an indictment. He was great at Kentucky, and he's going to show the world that hey, guess what, guys? I'm back.
Right.
Glad you kept the seat warm for me.
Some people just have fits. Bill Walsh at Stanford was just okay.
One of the greatest coaches in NFL history. Liam Cohen couldn't cut it with Sean McVay.
That offense is so weird. That offense is so weird.
It is a very weird offense.
Nick
Stetson Bennett.
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban couldn't cut it in the NFL, so I mean,
probably the greatest college coach ever. Yeah, so.
Right.
If he could just get that one more national championship and move past Bear Bryant, because I actively think the ghost of Alabama is actually working against Nick Saban right now. He's like, nope, stay right there. They got his hands on his forehead. He's like, nope, little Nicky, you can just simmer down. Coach your Liberty Bowl and go off into the sunset.
He did that in the ghost of Alabama saw into the future back in 2015. They said, Kirby, go to Georgia.
and he did.
And he did. And so they're like, we'll let you get a couple more. We'll let you tie it, but we're not going to let you go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Kentucky ceiling 10-2?
No.
9-3.
15-0?
Yeah.
Natty.
Yeah.
We're talking basketball or football?
Kentucky's not beating Tennessee. Not the team that I saw Kentucky last year play Tennessee. Kentucky's not beating Georgia.
That's bad.
No.
There's two losses right there.
I don't know if they beat Vandy.
They'll beat Vandy.
I don't know that they beat Missouri. That's turned into a really good game the last few years.
It has.
But
Weirdly, yeah.
This is me being a huge believer in Devin Leary and having a good. Sangranello was a terrible offensive coordinator.
I mean, you're right.
He was like it. He was predictable. He was very. What's the word? Clunky. What's the word I'm thinking of? Like it just kind of seemed kind of all over the place, you know. Like it was somebody calling plays for the first time, and they were saying, "Hey, here." It'd be like, "Jeb, here's a play sheet. Go call this offense." And you're just trying to figure out what the hell the play sheet says for the first three quarters. And then when you finally figure it out, it's 45-0.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeb would have been a better coordinator.
What's that running back that Kentucky had last year that they do not have next year?
Chris Rodriguez.
Chris Rodriguez. That is the reason, in my opinion, that Liam Cohen and Will Levis. I think Will Levis was a NFL draft pick because of Chris Rodriguez and what he was able to do inside of Liam Cohen's offense. Who is going to be that running back? That's probably the storyline at Kentucky. Their offensive line had issues last year. Their defense is always going to be pretty good. Who is going to be that running back?
Well, we'll have to find out from Vinny at some point. But
Kentucky has Alabama this year too, don't they? So they've got Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama. I don't know if they win any of those.
That's three. Yeah,
that's three. That's
a ceiling of 9-3 at a minimum. And they also go on the road to Mississippi State, which they never win at Mississippi State. And it doesn't matter how. Yeah.
And that's in between Tennessee and Alabama.
So the floor is 5-7.
That's a rough one.
Yeah, probably
5-7. Yeah.
And I think Arkansas has a similar. Like you said, you can just flip a coin with those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all going to ebb and flow with KJ Jefferson, but I just don't know if Arkansas has enough depth to vault themselves into winning some games that they shouldn't. And Dan Eno's calling plays. I didn't know that. That completely fires me down about Arkansas.
Well,
yeah, who was the quarterback at Houston under Kendall Briles? It was Derek
King.
Yeah, I think wasn't he the quarterback?
He plays for the DC Defenders in the XFL, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then Kendall Briles went off to his next assignment, wherever that was,
It's Florida State, I think.
Yeah, wherever it was. But Derek King lost the quarterback job, became just like a multifaceted thing, ended up transferring to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if KJ Jefferson isn't doomed to the same fate.
I hope not, but
KJ Jefferson was an instrument of Kendall Briles more than KJ Jefferson is just a top shelf quarterback.
Well, Rock must be licking his chops in because he's going to be an XFL star.
Well, if KJ learned from last year not to try to dive in from the 7-yard line for a touchdown, I think they'll be all right.
Hopefully he learns that about as well as Joe Milton learns not to just run out of bounds when the clock's over. Trying to go downfield.
My joke right there is like Joe Milton was the only person in Neyland Stadium that night that didn't want to throw something.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Some of our fans have some pretty good arms.
Joe Milton's got to stop pretending that every throw is a 60-yard bomb.
Right. He can. If you need him to throw it 40 yards, he can throw it 40 yards.
If you need him to throw it 20 yards, he can throw it 40 yards.
That's right.
If you need him to throw it 50 yards, he'll run out of bounds and get home. Whatever.
Unless it's against Clemson, then he'll start throwing 70-yard dimes.
Yeah, well, true.
That's a good point.
Gave us hope at least for this year.
Such a weird story.
Yeah.
A&M for me, the storyline is going to be can Jimbo and Petrino coexist?
I just don't see it. Those two guys are just their personalities, man. They're exactly the same, and they're going to do a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
I think DJ Durkin is a better story. Everybody in the SEC got rid of that 3-2-6 defense. Arkansas, Ole Miss, everybody got because once people figured out how to attack it, it was basically worth it, except for Texas A&M, DJ Durkin. So we'll see exactly what happens there. I think that might be more of a hindrance to what they want to do than even what is happening offensively. I do think the running back Reuben Owens is going to be he's going to be a dude.
He's really good.
They have dudes, and they're going to have a lot of good individual stats. Does that equate to team wins?
Who knows?
Who knows?
So
if you're an A&M fan, I hope for your sake, well, you need to get help first. But if you're an A&M fan, I hope for your sake that that does equate to team wins. But
with their talent, would you say Asylum be 10-2, 11-1 with their talent?
Well, they do have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
I'd say
no, they've got Tennessee, Alabama, LSU.
Oof.
I think A&M ceiling's 9 wins.
Okay. And their floor 6-6?
Probably, or 5 wins, honestly.
I think 6-6 is the floor. I think they have enough talent to make a bowl.
But
they have to prove
6
to me they can beat Mississippi State before I give that to them.
But still, 6 wins at A&M, they're going to be calling for Jimbo's head. Yeah. It's going to be bad.
You're going to see gas prices go through the roof just so the oil people in Texas can make some money and fire Jimbo.
Yeah. God. Oh, man. That's so good.
A&M's like, you think the brass at the school's like, whose idea was it to hire Jimbo? You think that guy's still employed? The person who hired Jimbo?
He might not be after this season if he is.
No, I think he's the athletic director at LSU. Believe it or not. Yeah.
He got out of there. He screwed A&M and went to LSU to beat them.
Family.
Yeah.
Family.
Oh, that's good.
Brian Kelly gets a bad. He's a good coach. I don't know if he'll ever be an elite coach.
He just tried too hard just because they talk funny in Louisiana. That's all that happened there.
That was the mass hole coming out at him.
Yeah.
Making fun of Southerners.
Yeah.
Making fun of Cajun Southerners to be exact. He's like, God, y'all talk even funnier than the actual Southerners.
Mm-hmm. Mississippi State.
Just win a game.
Yeah.
Just win, baby. Just win.
6 wins are ceiling.
Will Rogers should have went pro.
Do not drop the game against Arizona. That is the storyline for Mississippi State this year. If you lose that game, it gets horrible.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Arizona might be the worst P5 team in America.
Well, they won 2 or 3 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
So there were signs of improvement.
Not to go all Pac-12 after dark on you guys, but did you see where Washington State is putting a hiring freeze because they don't have any money?
Yeah.
Because the Pac-12 lost money and didn't get as much as they normally get?
The Pac-12, honestly, the Pac-12 and the ACC, they're effed.
Yeah, pretty much.
And even then, the Big Ten's doing some shady, like Enron type accounting. That they're going on right now, to where they're having to rob Peter to pay Paul because they just promised NBC could have some championship games without talking to Fox.
Fox is like, whoa.
Well, yeah, so now they got to pay like $40 million to Fox about that, and it's just kind of the SEC is just kind of cruising right along.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the Power One before too long.
But it literally is going to be the Power 2 because the Nebraska president was talking about it and basically was mentioning that it was going to be a Power 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, Big 12 is already on life support. Pac-12 just lost their 2 biggest schools, which they haven't lost UCLA officially, but I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Washington State, they might fold because they can't support the program financially. Big, in the ACC, they just have no marquee teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Pac-12 is about to turn into the Sun
Big
Belt.
12.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see like 4 teams go to the Big 12, and then everybody else is going to go Mountain West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doomed.
Well, let's
Poor
look at
Oregon.
that Tier 4.
Tier 4, Auburn, Missouri, Florida. We just talked about Vanderbilt. Missouri. Brady Cook. Can he cook?
7-5 ceiling. 4 of like 4 and 8.
I'd say so, but the floor.
Yeah.
I like that ceiling because they seem like a team that very well could overachieve in a couple of games.
Florida 6-6 ceiling, 2-10 floor.
Mm-hmm. And that could easily happen.
Oh God, yeah, it's rough down there, man. I just how do they? I mean, I know why they got so bad because they didn't recruit for like 6 years. It's bad down there, Gaines.
Yeah. And also, they don't have any quarterbacks.
They have none.
Yeah,
none.
They hadn't had one in forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since Kyle Trask, who was basically somebody that just went in for an injured Felipe Franks.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look back, is Florida still paying for Tim Tebow?
That's a
They
good
must
question.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because who was the quarterback after Tim Tebow that was respectable? Just respectable. They had Steroid Boy that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Ended up going to West Virginia.
Oh, Will Greer or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had Will Greer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Driscoll, maybe was Driscoll is respectable. He's still kicking around the NFL.
Well, just because you kick around the NFL doesn't mean you were good at college. Because if I remember correctly,
you said respectable. You said
respectable at Florida.
Respectable.
People were trying to run him out of town like crazy.
Put some respect on my name.
Yeah, I didn't say the fans being idiots was a factor here, but he's still kicking around the league, and he played at Florida, so yeah, it's nothing to shake a stick at. I mean, the fact that that's what this is what this list has come down to is.
Yeah, they would give their left arm for another Chris Leak.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is going to be absolutely hilarious? I'm kind of rooting for this to happen, for Anthony Richardson to ball out with the Colts, and leave everybody going,
yeah,
what?
That's fine. Just don't let them do it against the Titans.
I was going to say, if it wasn't the Colts, I would agree with you.
Right.
I've seen Will Levis versus Anthony Richardson. I do not need to see
Anthony Richardson can ball out, and the Colts could still go 5-12.
Yeah.
Those two wins. Two of those 5 wins will be against the Titans, though.
Oh, the Cowboys. The Cowboys.
Oh.
Definitely the Cowboys. Woo!
And Auburn, by the way, I think their ceiling is probably 7-5, 8-4, and their floor is probably somewhere around 4-8.
Auburn and Florida have very similar problems, except Auburn's better coached than Florida.
Well, Auburn has a mid-tier Big Ten quarterback that is coming to save the day. Florida.
Peyton Thorne.
Wait, Florida has that too. Yeah, basically Graham Mertz, the same guy.
It's basically the lower middle tier of Big Ten quarterbacks from last season.
Auburn probably has a little bit better talent than Florida does overall.
Neither of them have an offensive line. So
it's ridiculous that we're even talking about this.
Yeah.
Like Auburn and Florida being this bad is not.
Yeah.
But, Auburn's used to this. They really bad. So, like, in a couple seasons, they're going to be, like, really good. They're one of the more streakier programs.
Yeah, they fluctuate hard.
Is there another program in the country?
Yes.
That is as mid as they are.
There's 130 of them.
That is as mid as they are, but like to view themselves as like they've won 6 national titles in the last 10 years.
Their counterparts in College Station?
No. They're just money delusional. They're like Paris Hilton thinking she's smart.
That's so good.
That was a Barkleyism if I've ever ever heard one.
Yeah, for sure.
We get rid of the graphic if you want. That was definitely a Barkleyism.
Hey, we'll go to Vandy though. Vandy, I think their ceiling is national championship. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Their ceiling is
is
beating
6-6.
Tennessee 6-6 is their ceiling.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot to get there, but
their floor.
They must beat Wake Forest.
Yeah, they got
that is a must win for that. And if that happens, they have a chance because they get to play Auburn, they get to play Missouri, they get to play Kentucky, and all you have to do is win 2 of those games.
And Florida too.
And Florida too. Of course, it's in the swamp. And I just don't want to give anybody the swamp. Just like, hey, this is just going to happen. But
if there was ever a year that you could give people the swamp, it's this year. I'm not ready to give Vanderbilt the swamp. Don't get it twisted. But I'm ready to give Tennessee the swamp this year.
Yeah.
Now Vandy's forced probably 3 wins.
That absolutely destroyed me to say that.
I appreciate it.
But I've got to speak the truth. Tennessee is starting to become they're back on the upswing.
Yes.
After 15 years.
I'll tell you, I'm rocking tonight. I'm rocking Hawaii. I mean Hillwood. This is what we used as our Hillwood logo for a long time too.
Hey, Vandy's got them open up the season too. So
this is an actual Hawaii logo. This is an actual Hawaii shirt.
And plagiarism is a huge thing in schools. And then they just do it on logos.
Right.
Before I got there, I mean, it was already established.
That's so good.
What is it? Chat GPI make that logo for them?
Yes.
Oh man,
we plagiarized the hell out of it. It was great. Put it on our helmets and everything.
God, it's so good.
I mean, coaches, we wore lays. I mean, we're definitely not like Hawaii.
No, not Hawaii at all. There was no apostrophe in there.
No apostrophe at all in Hillwood.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a stray pen mark that could look like a apostrophe.
Well, let's get out of here.
All right.
Call this a night.
So, I'm trying to create a bird dog joke here somewhere, but I just can't do it. It's May.
Jeb,
we're graduating tomorrow.
No, that'd be a coon hand. Sorry.
All right, we are SEC After Dark. We hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. The school year is closing. Summer is upon me. It's upon all of us, really, but it means more for me because I'm an educator that summer is upon me. We're moving to Lawson High School next year. That's going to be exciting. I'm going to be coaching at Innsworth next year. That's going to be exciting as well. We are presented by DeadSoxy. That's even more exciting. If you want to join in on DeadSoxy's first move here, feel free. But for Stephen Willis, Jeb Beecham, and Jake Thomas, I'm Corey Burton. This is SEC After Dark, the greatest show on this side of the Mississippi.
Seriously.
Follow us
Science.
on all social platforms at SEC_after_dark, at SEC Dark on YouTube. Follow us at Coach Burton36, at Bleav In Dogs on Twitter, Bleav In Dogs on Instagram, Bleav In Georgia Dawgs, the show on YouTube as well. It's linked on the SEC After Dark channel, so you can get to it that way as well. Subscribe. Locked On Ole Miss, in case you lost the plot, and Tide Talk Live with Jake Thomas. Catch it all, man. It's going to be the After Dark channel is going to be incredible, so don't miss out.
Absolutely.
But we'll see you back here next week. Hopefully at our normal time. But until then, you know the drill. Go Dogs.
Go Vols.
Bro Tide. Next week, Wednesday, don't forget.
Tell me he doesn't look like Seth Rogen.
He does.
He could be as